Alright, for this video I want to talk about the IRS letter 6475 that's going to be going out here in January to a lot of taxpayers. So what is this letter? What do you need to do when you receive it? So I've got some notes in front of us here, but more importantly I'm going to show you how this is relevant on your federal income tax return for 2021. So we're going to go through an example of John here where he needs to use this letter and claim a credit that he otherwise did not receive. So the 6475 letter. This is being mailed out to taxpayers where the IRS believes they paid you your third stimulus check. So remember, as part of the coronavirus outbreak, there were 3 rounds of stimulus checks, 1, 2, and 3. The third one went out in January 2021, and the amounts of those checks were $1,400 per individual. So if you were married filing joint, you got a $2,800 check, and then there was an additional $1,400 payment per dependent child. Now, with some of the other payments too, a lot of taxpayers are finding they're not getting their full payment. They're not getting any payment at all. Things are getting lost in the mail. Direct deposit information is wrong. And so in order to make sure you do get the amount that you're owed, there is a method to report this on your tax return and effectively true up the amount of tax credits that you should have received. So my recommendation is 100% do not file your return early. Wait until you get all this information in. It should be coming in January. Most people have to wait till the end of January anyway to get their 1099s and W-2s. So wait till you get this letter, because what you want to do is look at the amount that's reported on the letter and then actually look at your bank accounts, or if you receive paper checks, and ask yourself, did I receive the actual amount that they're reporting on this letter? If they're reporting an amount that differs, then you have a problem. Right, you've got to go down a different avenue here as far as claiming the credit. So for this example, what we're going to do is we're going to look at John Doe, taxpayer. He's preparing his 2021 return, and he did not get his economic impact payment, that third stimulus check for 2021. So what does he do here? Well, on the 2021 tax return, they have added on page 2, line 30. So line 30, this recovery rebate credit line item, this is where you would input the amount of that third stimulus payment that you did not receive. So it could be the full amount. It could be a different amount if you only got a portion of a check. A lot of taxpayers are adding amounts here for spouses or dependents that they didn't get a check for. So let's say Joe here, John Doe here, he was married and he had a kid and he only got a check for himself. Well, he can, on line 30, basically add the amount of credit that he should have got for his spouse and his child. So that's what this is designed to do here. So any amount you report on line 30 is going to increase the amount of payments that you should be receiving for the tax year. So it's going to increase the amount of your tax refund, or if you owe tax, it's just going to reduce dollar for dollar the amount of the credit here. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at the recovery worksheet credit. So again, line 30 is where you're reporting this information, but the IRS hasn't crafted a specific form. They just have a credit worksheet. So you can find this in the 1040 instructions. A lot of software packages, this one included that I've used, has a prefabbed worksheet here that, again, as they noted here, you're keeping this for your records, you're not sending it to the IRS. And so if you look up this worksheet in the Form 1040 instructions, you just answer the yes or no questions as you go on down. And then the key part here on line 6 is where you compute the total amount that you should have received for the year, right? So $1,400 for a single filer. You get an extra $1,400 if you're married filing jointly. And then on line 7, they're asking us multiply $1,400 by the number of dependents you have, right? Because remember, you're getting $1,400 per dependent child that you have. And then you obviously keep on going down the form here. And there is a section here, obviously, where they're asking you about your adjusted gross income, right? So the amount of income that you have is really important because there are phase outs. If you make too much money, you didn't get a payment, right? And so the double check here is to make sure that your income is below the certain thresholds. Otherwise, there's a phase out of the amount of payment you receive, or you don't get any at all. And then the key point down here with this 6475 letter is line 13, right? So what we need to do here is look at line 13 and ask ourselves how much of the payment was issued to us during the year, right? So notice 1444C was also sent out. 6475 is the most recent one that's sending out. So yeah, look at 6475, enter the amount that you did actually receive that's reported on the 6475, and the amount of credit you get is going to be the difference. In this case, John Doe here, he's leaving it zero because he did not get his check, right? So the $1,400 never came in through the mail. He never got a payment deposit in his bank account, and 6475 letter shows zero, so he's putting zero here and he gets his $1,400. So once you compute the amount of recovery rebate credit you are due, that figure again is ultimately reported here on line 30, page 2 of your Form 1040, and it will increase the amount of tax refund that you're going to be owed for the year. Okay, so that covers it. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. Again, when these letters come in, keep them. You're going to need them to prepare your taxes. So I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.